Look, man, believe it or not, as outrageous as this may sound, if you're reading the title, seeing the thumbnail or whatever, I tried to look every which way to see if this was serious. I'm like, this can't be serious. This guy has to be joking. Satire, something I'm just not in on. But all indications point to that this guy is dead serious. Okay, now who this guy is, hard to say. But he is actually it's not hard. He says he's an award-winning multimedia journalist, CBS, AXS, Yahoo, Examiner. So he's been around, right? And, looking through his page, looking through some of his posts, he's just your standard, mainstream leftist, at least for the most part, in terms of the views that he holds. So this dude is apparently, first of all, he puts Target's manager on blast. And all of this comes from the fact that there was an error clearly. I mean, if you look at this picture, clearly this is an error here in that this is wrongfully priced. This is an electronic Oral-B toothbrush. It's not no 1 cent. It can't be. So this fool, instead of using his logic, awareness, situational awareness, and seeing if, or more so, what the correct price is, because he knows that's not the correct price. So you ask. He attempts to abuse the law. And this is why why I wanted to pick this video up, or this topic up, because there's layers to it. He says, calls the police on Target because Toy here, and I hope she doesn't get fired, doesn't sell her or him the toothbrush for the cent. The police verified Target displayed the price of the toothbrush for a cent. The store manager Toy refused to sell me the toothbrush for the displayed price. The police said I need to sue them. And that they are making me a verified report to take to court. Corporations like Target are not above the law. The police officer told me they testified that they saw the price and that the manager wouldn't sell me the item for said price listed. I have not been able to afford to go to the dentist or to a dentist in over 3 years. So yes, I wanted a good toothbrush and was thrilled to see such an amazing price on an Oral-B, but Target refused to honor it, and now I have to take them to court. First of all, it's funny. Apparently, you don't have money to go see a dentist, which even without insurance, to get like a cleaning isn't that much. Certainly, you're going to spend more on lawyer fees and what have you to make a big deal out of this. So you got money for the court fees, right? Award-winning journalist. Money for the court fees, but he's not somehow able to afford the dentist. And I believe some people were showing I can't find it. It was showing an old tweet of his in like 2 years ago, and he was talking about being at the dentist. So a lot of people are like, well, wait a minute. You say you haven't been there for 3 years. But nonetheless, look, it's an obvious error. But God dog it, why does that kid? I got to fix this. We'll do that after the video. Okay, that's not it. Okay. But people abuse laws all the time, and I talk about some of the senseless laws that exist, in which there's actually people out there that get off from trying to abuse it in a sense that it's so silly, but they look at it like a get rich quick scheme. So it will be, though it's not a cent, it's not that expensive to the point to where it's worth taking somebody to court over. For that, at least, you know what I mean? For that, for what he's wanting to take them to court for, and that there's a pricing law in Massachusetts, which was what he points to, that requires, and he posts, let me actually show you guys, because he posts this, and it says the Massachusetts item pricing law was written to ensure that food retailers remain consistent and accurate in how they charge consumers. The Massachusetts item pricing law requires food and grocery stores to individually price mark most items with the actual selling price. The law also requires food and grocery merchants to sell any item at the lowest price indicated on an item sign or advertisement. So this guy wants to abuse that, even though I knew that wasn't going to work. I did it anyway. This guy wants to abuse that because there was an error, and he's willing to throw the manager under the bus in the process and make a big deal, claiming that he hasn't been to the dentist in so long. And he was just so stoked that they just had these electronic toothbrushes on sale for $0.01, and he's just horrified at the fact that they weren't really selling it for that much. It's an electronic toothbrush. Of course, it wasn't $0.01. David. And if this is law, knowing how government works, they're gonna mess around and win. And some of you guys are gonna be like, "Oh well, Target, they can handle it." And no, it's not about that. There's examples of this all across the world. And this guy is getting ratioed to the oblivion. Let's be fair. As you can't really see down here, my screen's blocking it. 25,000 comments as opposed to 6,000 likes. So not everybody is on the same page with him. In the fact that I think a lot of people have an issue with how he threw the manager under the bus, and I understand that. But me, again, breaking back the layers, I think this more so stems from the statism, in that this is a silly law. No matter how well intended, I get it, right? It's okay. Well, you want people to be charged for what they see or what's being advertised, and I understand that. But is the law, I guess we're going to find out, so flaky to where someone can abuse it in this matter, something that's a clear and obvious error that they know it was an obvious error. That's the only reason why he makes a big deal out of it. He instead wants to sue them over. And again, I don't care how big Target is or how much money they have or if they're going to be able to eat the cost. It's not about that. Right is right, wrong is wrong, and this is wrong for this guy to be able to try to use the state as leverage for some sort of come up to sue them because there was a pricing error on an electronic toothbrush. And an obvious one. We're not talking about something that may be $1 off or something like that. We're talking about it says it's $0.01. We know that was an error. And yes, maybe Target needs to do a better job, of whoever's doing whatever in terms of the pricing, the stickers needs to do a better job. I get that. You can make that argument, but that's neither here nor there when it comes to the simple fact this fool is willing to take this person to court or take the company to court, throwing some chick under the bus that's the manager there just because he's trying to abuse. And let's call it what it is, abuse the law. This isn't the case of where you advertise this for $40 and you charge me for $140. No. This is a case of the sticker was wrong and it says it's $0.01. It's an outrageous price. And he's getting ratioed. But the corporations like what he said, corporations like Target aren't above the law, man. Like, golly. And he's willing to use the state to sue somebody over it's not even just about the toothbrush, right? It's about the fact that this silly law, again, no matter how well intended, because you can make the argument, and I'd make the argument. You advertise something, it is not in good favor if you advertise something as a particular price and you sell it for something different, like more than what it is. Less, I'm pretty sure people will love that, but you're selling it for more than what it is. But this isn't an instance where the consumer is being protected or anything like that. This is just an instance where the consumer is actually trying to abuse said law, which quite often happens. There's a bunch of silly laws out there. People get sued over nonsense, lose their jobs over nonsense. And people like to utilize these silly laws or loopholes within those silly laws to, try to hit people's pockets. And this is all this guy's trying to do. A guy that says he could not afford to go to the dentist in 3 years somehow has the money to get the lawyer fees to sue someone over a toothbrush.